All right, how's it going? I'm here with Austin. Austin's been with me. We've been working together for just over 3 months now, and he has made amazing progress. So, basically, the purpose of this call is basically just to find out what works for him and lessons that can be shared with you if you're watching this also. So, yeah, firstly, Austin, how you doing? Great to catch you on the call. How you doing today?
Yeah, no complaints on my side. Um, yeah, just excited for the day to almost be over. Gonna go get my lift in shortly here, but yeah, no complaints on my side.
Awesome. Yeah, I know you got the session planned, so thanks for taking your time to go through this today. But yeah, so just in a summary, what's your, what's happened? What's been the main thing that you've got since we've been working together? What's been the summary of your progress?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing was one of the things I struggle for losing weight in general is just the accountability side, where I have a bunch of friends who they're kind of like to sit around, not really take an active stance, and when you're surrounded by that type of environment, it kind of makes you start being lazy and laying around. Like I noticed I was putting all up of weight with my friends constantly sitting around, and at some point I'm just looking like, wow, I in the 1 year I put on 20 pounds. That is ridiculous. And the biggest challenge is whenever I was trying to set my mind to, okay, it's time to start losing weight, didn't really have anyone trying to hold me accountable to it because I mean, they're fine with just sitting around doing nothing. Meanwhile, my stance is I need to get active. I need to get into better shape. And that's where, whenever you hit me up, it's just like, yeah, I mean, and I know how the shape JP's in. That's definitely going to help me be held accountable. And then you just sending those weekly check ins, it's like, fuck, I really got to get out and do something. And that's definitely been a huge incentive. Like, I think when we started, I was at 206 and now I'm down to 193, 192. And I mean, I'm still coasting. I'm trying to get down to 185, but I have full confidence that I'll be able to get there just because it's been a complete lifestyle change that I've been doing.
Awesome, awesome. And yeah, you have got really good results, and yeah, you are still in the middle of your journey. Things that's obviously we're still working towards getting to our next goal. But even seeing what you've done so far and seeing you implement those changes and seeing you follow the process, really, that's I believe that's made a huge difference. So well done for that. And yeah, you've got the momentum is built up now, so you can just keep pushing, keep going through. So yeah, thank you for that. You definitely answered the first question. So I was going to ask you what things were like before we started, but you covered that. Do you have any? What reservations did you have before we started together, if any?
Reservations was just kind of working with a nutritionist in general, just because I've done all the research on diet. I've gone through windows where I'm dropping, and I've also gone through windows where I'm putting up. So I already had like a good baseline knowledge for what foods to eat, what foods to avoid. But like I said, the accountability was the thing that I needed the most of by far, just from holding yourself accountable. If you're not doing that, you're not going to drop the weight because it's very easy to during a weekend just be like, you know what, I'm feeling like gorging. I'm going to go to brunch with friends, over drink, and then I'm also going to eat a large pizza by myself. Like that. That's where I was most skeptical. But I mean, you showed me that just by sending the weekly message, it was really straightforward and easy to keep me like focused on the goal.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. And yeah, that's something I do emphasize is, the accountability part is such a big part of the experience and the process of making a lifestyle change. Because sometimes, yeah, all it needs is for someone to just be checking in and just making sure you're doing the right thing or that you're still on track can be enough to keep you motivated and keep you going. So I'm glad that that's you found that helpful. And yeah, that segues us into the third question. What would you say the process of working with me has been like since we started?
And the process was so we started when you didn't have the app quite established yet. So it was more of just WhatsApp messages like, here's a Google Drive of helpful materials like dieting. Um, all of that was useful, but the most useful was when we started tracking calories, just starting to gauge like where was I hitting this plateau where I wasn't able to drop. We did that for 2 or 3 weeks where I'm constantly updating my food intakes and you're providing feedback. Like I know there's a pair of eyes looking to see what I'm eating. So that kind of drives home that I need to focus on what my eating is because that's 98% of dropping weight is your nutrition. It's not so much working out. but it's more making sure you're eating the right things and you're not overeating your calories.
Exactly. Yes, I remember we had that period where a lot of people would have maybe would have thought about quitting or throwing in the towel when we was constantly going through that cycle of dropping the weight, putting it back on, dropping the weight, and it wasn't moving as we wanted. So that's great that we both figured it out and put our heads together. And I always say two minds are better than one, and 1+1 = 3 in a sense. So that's good that obviously you relied on my experience and my knowledge with your practical day-to-day life and managed to find something that worked, and that's, I'm really happy about that. And yeah, definitely the app has made a big difference. I think that's definitely enhanced the experience. So so you've definitely made the most of it, which is it's the app only, things like that, even my coaching only works as much as you're willing to work and absorb the information. So kudos for that as well. And what would you say the best one result has been since we've been working together, if you could pinpoint one?
I mean, best result was basically just getting under that 200-point mark and then just constantly dropping. Like, what was that? We saw a week in June where I dropped, 6 pounds in 1 week just from watching what I was eating. Plus, you saw how active I was, where I was getting up and like walking 16 miles a day, like just outrageous numbers. And I mean, a huge part of it is my day-to-day job is sitting in front of a desk all the time, which that's an easy way to put on weight. You're not getting up and being active. But I mean, being held accountable, I was just getting up and trying to go exercise as well as making sure I was eating right and just get clear results that way.
Awesome. And yeah, and I hope that was the barrier. Sometimes that you get these barriers and they seem impossible to break through, but you did it. You're well under that mark now, and it's just on to the next goal. And even once you get to the 185 mark, then you're gonna have to set a new target for yourself. But that's when it gets more fun. The more into it you get, the more momentum you build. It's just more fun and more fun. So that's kind of and just have to hold on to that at all costs. You can't let that slip. So that's the main thing. So yeah, so well done, and thank you for sharing that with me and everyone watching. Hopefully, I'm sure you've inspired some people with your journey as it is, and yeah, definitely we'll speak soon.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, take care.
Bye.